So let me share this moment with you guys here. This is out of this world. So Unusual Whales tweeted, "This is inexcusable. A truly wild moment yesterday from the House Financial Services Committee where they laugh about the revolving door from Congress to the banks." So what's so disturbing about this clip is that they don't think they're saying or doing anything wrong. That's what hits me about this clip. So let's take a look. You guys will be able to judge it for yourselves. But you're about to see, these are all big bankers. And look at the nice, nonchalant, blase banter that a congressperson has with them and the substance of what the congressperson says.
The gentleman from Indiana, Mr. Hollingsworth, is now recognized for 5 minutes.
Well, good afternoon. I'm excited to be here with each of you. Before I get started on my questions, Mr.
So it says here, for those of you who are just listening through a podcast and not watching, and by the way, just so everybody knows, this show is now available every day that we have a show. It's available as fully on a podcast app, the full show. YouTube, you have the individual clips. If you don't want to click through the clips and you don't want to watch it and you just want to listen, go check out the Kyle Kulinski show on the various podcasting apps. But what it says on the screen here is oversight of U.S. banks. Oversight of U.S. banks. This is the House Financial Services Committee, and the whole point of this meeting is oversight of U.S. banks.
Moynihan, I wanted to let you know, Saruthi, raise your hand, Saruthi. She has been my team member for a couple of years now, but on Monday she becomes a Bank of America team member, about which she is very, very excited. So I hope you'll take good care of her and know and recognize the talent that she has shown already in our office. I'm sure she'll do the same at Bank of America.
We will do that, and her father already works for us, so he'll take care of it. You should have called us.
Well, good. Well, I appreciate the opportunity to chat about some of these issues today. What I'm really interested in is the state of the economy.
Yeah, sure you are. Sure you are. I hate this guy. And now look, this isn't a personal thing. I don't want to make it a personal thing. It's a systemic critique, okay? So I'm going to come back to the systemic critique, but for the love of God, tell me this guy is not the epitome of like a douchey frat bro who tripped over his dick and got a congressional seat and now thinks his shit doesn't stink. Again, listen to how casual he is in describing what is on its face incredibly corrupt.
I wanted to let you know, Saruthi, raise your hand, Saruthi. She has been my team member for a couple of years now, but on Monday she becomes a Bank of America team member, about which she is very, very excited. So I hope you'll take good care of her and know and recognize the talent that she has shown already in our office. I'm sure she'll do the same at Bank of America.
We will do that, and her father already works for us, so he'll take care of it. You should have called us.
Yes! Her father works for us too, yes. Congressman, when are you going to work for us? Yes, we're all so wealthy. Bro, they don't think there's anything wrong with this. This is like the definition of the revolving door. So let me explain to you the way this works. This guy is all buddy-buddy with the banks. His staffer is going to work for the bank. He has a good relationship with the bank. The staffer's dad works for the bank. The way this works is, the Financial Services Committee is supposed to oversee the banks. We have regulators who are supposed to regulate the banks. Does it look like the people who do the oversight are really in any position to objectively do oversight, to regulate, to say, hey, what you're doing there is not allowed. Hey, what you're doing there crosses a line? No. Because look, this is a giant circle jerk of money and power. And what happens is the banks give the politicians money for their campaigns. And when they get in office, they serve those banks. They serve the financial institutions. Their staffers serve the financial institutions. So they're going to get away with whatever the fuck they want to get away with. That's why it's fair to call the U.S. an oligarchy or a kleptocracy, because functionally it is that. And just so you understand, the American people know something's up here and something's wrong. And that's why you get a poll like this. Right now, the approval rating of Congress is 22%. It's been as low as like 8 or 9%. But it always sort of oscillates between a high of like 33 and a low of 9. It's because people know these motherfuckers aren't representing me. They're representing powerful, moneyed interests. And now they're at the point where they don't even try to hide it. They're giggling it up about how, this person's going to go work for you. And guess what? Maybe eventually, after they serve the banks, they'll go back and work for another congressperson. And when it comes time to write the next legislation for the banks, they'll put 1,000 loopholes in there to let their bank get away with fucking murder. By the way, so this clip went viral, 4.1 million views on this, because people are interested in the revolving door and the massive corruption that's out there in our faces. At least back in the day, they had the integrity to at least try to hide the fact that they're bought by these fuckers, right? Look at this. This is another one. This is quite a video here. So look at the question Ayanna Pressley asked. This is from More Perfect Union, by the way. And look at the response.
Mr. Sharp, workers at Wells Fargo have been advocating for a greater voice on the job for years. For the record, will you commit to neutrality in the workers' organizing effort and ensure that workers who speak out do not face retaliation? And this is, I'm looking for a yes or no response.
So in other words, if your workers are trying to unionize, which they are at Wells Fargo, will you commit to neutrality? You will not try to destroy unionization efforts. That's what she's asking. Just commit to neutrality, yes or no? Watch this.
We believe that we're best
yes or no
having a direct relationship with them.
Is that a yes or a no?
That is.
Will you commit to neutrality in the workers' organizing effort and ensure that workers who speak out do not face retaliation? It's really easy. Yes or no?
We will follow the law.
Okay.
We will urge our.
I'm going to reclaim my time. I was looking for a yes or no on whether or not you would commit to neutrality in the workers' organizing efforts and ensure that workers who speak out do not face retaliation. After years of scandals and billions of dollars in fines, you owe your employees accountability. If there had been a union at Wells Fargo, then perhaps the toxic policies and behaviors driving these scandals would not have gone unchecked for so long.
That's a good point, too. One of the reasons why they're unionizing is because they were forced to do all sorts of shit they didn't want to do at Wells Fargo. Opening up all these fake accounts and shit. The people on the ground didn't want to do that. It was a policy decision from above to try to juice the numbers. Now, you heard the answer. The answer was we prefer a direct relationship with our workers. In other words, they will argue whenever they try to unionize, oh, some outside agitators are coming in here and trying to ruin our relationship with our workers. By outside agitators, they mean sometimes when you unionize, you join an already existing union because there's strength in numbers, and they would define that as like, look at these outsiders causing trouble. No, they want to collectively bargain so that the workers get better wages, better health care, better benefits, so they don't have to commit fraud as an institutional policy that you jackasses implemented. But you heard the answer is no. They're going to try to fucking union bust. That's what they're going to do. They don't even try to hide it anymore, man. They don't even try to hide it. So, there you have it. I mean, throw the bums out. Throw them all out. By the way, the only way we're going to fix this problem that you're looking at right here, the only way we're going to fix this problem is to get the money out of the system. We need what's called clean elections, which is publicly financed elections. In a publicly financed election system, the politicians would be incentivized to serve the voters, to serve their constituents, to actually take their ideas seriously, and that's what you fight for. The way the system works now, with private donations, private funding of elections, means whoever are the donors are going to have the loudest voice. And oftentimes that's billionaires, that's CEOs, that's corporations, and it's functionally left us with an oligarchy, where the wealthy get represented and everybody else doesn't. The only way we fix this is to get the money out of the system. Unfortunately, the Supreme Court, in their infinite corruption, has decided money equals speech. So there's like a right for billionaires to buy elections. That's got to change. That's got to change. You either need to do a constitutional amendment to get rid of it, or you have to have a Supreme Court that reinterprets the case law on that and says, this is not what the fuck the founders meant, and this is not a reasonable interpretation of the First Amendment to say that that allows one of the Koch brothers to buy an election. That's crazy. But nonetheless, that's where we are. That's where we are. That's why a lot of the founders warned the Supreme Court has the potential to become a tyrannical branch of government. Well, that's certainly what happened from the 1970s and onward, as they started to say that, you have a right to bribe politicians, and they have a right to be corrupt. Well, this is the end result of it. See what it looks like? It looks like like politicians and lobbyists and donors spitting in the face of the American people, because it is that. If you want to see me and Crystal Ball interview legends like Noam Chomsky, Cornel West, and more, subscribe to Crystal, Kyle, and Friends on Substack. $5 a month gets you the video version a day early. Remember, we take 0 ad dollars for this podcast. Or you can sign up on Substack for free and get the audio version a day later. Link in the video description box below.